Alright guys, welcome back to God of War. The last time we met in God of War, we just literally arrived to the Cliffs of Madness, and Madness is certainly the right title for this because at this point in the Let's Play, I'm pretty sure I'm just fucking done with this whole quest for Pandora's Box. Honestly, it should have ended at the Temple of Pandora, but you know what? I don't care anymore. So the Cliffs of Madness actually isn't that bad at when comparing it to the Rings of Pandora and all that, but it is certainly a bit of a. It certainly does challenge you at times. Later challenge at the end of this part is proof of that. But fucking archers. It's always fucking archers. You know, the only time I really like archers is in Fire Emblem, and that's because I control them. Sometimes. I like it when I'm the annoying archer. Wow, I like that. They put a fucking rock there so that I would blatantly waste my magic. So the Cliffs of Madness is just a pretty simple section. It's very linear, though there are some times where the branching pathways happen, but again, just like most branching pathways, you will most likely end up doing both anyway. By the way, you can see Athens in the background there. Yeah, Ares is still fucking shit up because it's just how he rolls. Oh, I'm lucky I decided to jump while they were spawning, otherwise that's when the gravity dial turns up when they shoot me. Yeah, I got nothing for this part. I mean, it's just God of War gameplay, and you know, it's not as fun to talk about as you think it is. I mean, I could be talking about like frame perfect data and all that crap, but I don't know anything about that kind of stuff. I don't know like what attacks take so many frames and all that. Oh, you think? Oh, bullshit. That should be one of those sliding ropes, but no, I actually have to climb this one. I think it's a good thing I killed those archers earlier then, because again, they will not hesitate to shoot you, and if they hit you, you fall. And considering the name of this area, falling is not particularly a good idea. By the way, I hope you like the main theme of God of War, because this plays the whole damn time. I actually ran into a glitch, by the way. This was after I finished the game. This was like after I finished a session, or I went back to the title screen for some particular reason. And when I did, two songs were playing. The song that plays for the title screen and this theme. And I don't know what caused it. Dude, just lower the elevator. Or just keep... What are you doing? Okay. But like so the God of War remaster is not perfect by any means. I have had various times where I've run into glitches, but they're mainly audio or visual glitches. There's nothing. It's nothing like game breaking. Like I don't think to my recollection, I've never had the game crash on me. I've never had anything like that. I've never like clipped the floor or anything like that. But there are some bugs, and it's mainly just like, you know, two music tracks are playing at the same time for some reason. Or, no music is playing at all at times. I've had that happen a few times. And I want to mention, God of War 1 is fucking loud. Like, I turned down the volume for the game, one, because I'm commentating over it, and two, you know, I do it before I even start commentating, because Jesus Christ, if I listen to it even at lowest volume, my eardrums start to bleed, because this game is so damn loud. Like, I don't know who is in charge of the audio design for this game, but they fucked up badly. Now, it could be just my settings, and I probably just messed something up, but I've never heard, I don't remember this game being that loud. Like I'm looking at the decibel level on Adobe Premiere, and it doesn't say like it doesn't say like 0. It says, oh my god. It says, dear Lord, turn it down. Yeah, I mean, This is just pretty standard stuff, honestly. I really got nothing here. I mean, what kind of tangent can I go on? I mentioned Fire Emblem earlier. So Fire Emblem Engage is out. I've been actually really devoted to playing that. In fact, because of that, I've kind of been neglecting my Arkham City review, which is my own fault. I will take the blame on that. Fire Emblem Engage has just been distracting me because I love Fire Emblem. I mean, it's one of my favorite RPG franchises, if not my favorite. Yeah, I love Awakening to now. I haven't really played the older games because of different reasons. One, they're not localized, or two, I can't get them for cheap. Like, if you want to play Fire Emblem Path of Radiance and Radiant Dawn, you have to sell crack. I don't even think I'm, because if I'm thinking right, I don't have my phone on me, so I can't look it up. But, I remember when I looked on eBay once, it said a copy of Path of Radiance or Radiant Dawn, and this is like if you just want the disc. I don't even want the case at this point. If I just want the disc, it's like $200. And then like the case is not much better. It's like $250 for that. And I'm just like, hell no for that. Like, I get those two games are more rare because, you know, not many people play Fire Emblem, so they just got delisted at the time. But Jesus Christ, I'm not paying that much for that. I'll just emulate the damn games at that point, which I did. Thank you for the Steam Deck. That's the best thing about the Steam Deck, is it is great for emulation. With it, I'm just, you know, emulating certain things. Come and get me, Nintendo. I don't give a shit. You guys' policies suck. You guys' emulators suck ass anyway. Like, Jesus Christ, I mean, I like the idea of Virtual Console and all, but honestly, the emulators are kind of ass at times. Especially the Nintendo Switch Online emulator that they use. It's... Jesus. I've never seen an emulator. Like, I've seen gameplay footage of the N64 gameplay when that first made its round, and you know, seeing Ocarina of Time of all games having issues is surprising, because Ocarina, for one thing, you know, I saw that, like, I saw it had like choppy frame rates and stuff like that, and I'm like, Ocarina of Time, a game that runs at like 12 frames per second, having choppy frame rate, that's scary. How do you fuck up that badly? And now I've heard they patched that crap. You know, I've heard they patched the N64 stuff and all that. Still not paying, what was it, like $50 for that shit? Yeah, the Nintendo Switch Online expansion, I know this is like, you know, preaching to the choir here, is the most bullshit thing I think Nintendo has done in a long time. Actually, no, I'm pretty sure they've done something else recently. I'm just too lazy to figure that out. But like, I remember when you know, it was a cool idea. You know, finally we're bringing in the N64. We're bringing in the Sega Genesis for some reason. You know, I liked that. And then I saw the price and the fact that they were charging separately for that. And I'm just like, what the fuck? So, and they had no intention of, you know, just give it, like, that's why I hate the fact that if you want to play retro Nintendo games, you have to pay a monthly or yearly subscription for that. When on the Virtual Console, on the Wii U, you just had to buy the game one time, and you never had to worry about it again. Now, if you wanted to re-download it, you got like until what day is it? March. You got till the end of March now. So any Virtual Console games you want on the Wii U or 3DS, you better hurry up and start buying them, because those stores shut down at the end of the year. Or, you know, you can just resort to piracy like a normal human being at this point, because fuck Nintendo. And like, it's not even like, I'm not even like mad that Nintendo is shutting down the server for the eShop. It's more at the fact that they have no intention of putting up legacy content. So anything on the 3DS that you want to play, that you can't get it anymore. Like, unless you get a physical copy of it. So, like, if you want to play, like, say you want to play Kid Icarus Uprising, but you can't get a physical copy for cheap, so you want to buy it on the eShop, well, you better hope it's not April 1st, because you ain't going to be able to do that. You better do it before April 1st, 2023, because you won't be able to buy it. And that's just like... And they have no... And there's just no... And they said they have no intention of doing it, so they may do it anyway. But, like... Why? Some of the games would probably work on Switch really well. Fire Emblem Fates is a huge example of a game that's going to get screwed hard. Because for those who don't know about Fire Emblem Fates has 3 separate games: Conquest, Birthright, and Revelations. The thing is, though, is that Revelations is the only one that did not get a physical release, at least in America. So if you want to play a physical release of Fire Emblem Fates Revelation, well, you probably have to get a Japanese copy or something, or maybe there was a there maybe was a physical release for the Revelations pack. Maybe you had to get like the deluxe edition or some shit. But I never saw one. But like, if you want to play Fire Emblem Fates Revelation in America, you had to download it on the Nintendo eShop. Well, you know what's and you want to know what's going to happen? You're not going to be able to do that anymore if you want. So some poor sap's going to want to play Fire Emblem Fates in the future. They got Birthright and Conquest on physical, but now they can't play, you know, Revelations, which is, by the way, considered the canon pathway in a lot of people's eyes. Like, even Nintendo says, even the Intelligent Systems is kind of just basically saying this pathway is canon because of the fact that, you know, it's the only path where none of the Norians or Hoshins die. I don't care about spoilers. That game's been out for like 10 years at this point. I don't give a shit. So, did I just jump off a cliff and die? Did I just kill myself? A little early. We don't jump off a cliff until the end of the game. But, again, back to what I was saying. With the Nintendo eShop closing, it's just not really fair to people who want to play the older game, who want to play 3DS games. And there's so many 3DS games that you could port to Switch, no problem. Fire Emblem Fates is a huge example of that. You know, there's a lot of things you can do to make Fire Emblem Fates easy to play on the Nintendo Switch. You know, one, you know, take out all compatibility with the touchscreen, which isn't that hard. There's not a lot. You know, maybe take, because the always one of them. What was I saying? Take out like all the touchscreen and like, I remember, if I remember correctly, in Fates, there's the blowing mini game when you're with your S rank companion, which, you know, you just take that out. That's such a stupid mini game. Or the shouting into the microphone or something like that. Actually, no, I think the Switch does have a microphone, doesn't it? No, we can still do that. Like, take out all the touchscreen compatibility, which there isn't a lot, you know. I mean, hell, you could still leave it in there, but like, you know, the entirety of the second touchscreen had no reason. The second screen was basically useless in Fates to me. I never looked at it. I never really looked at it unless it was the first few chapters where it was the tutorial. But, you know, now that I've played Fates a few times, I don't need to do that. You know, and you know what? Make it like a Fire Emblem Fates bundle, where it's all 3 of the games in one neat little package, like it should have been. You know, do what Three Houses did, where it gave you all the pathways in one box. Well, Three Houses is different to some extent. And like, Kid Icarus Uprising would be really the one that I would think would probably just never really work outside of the Nintendo Switch, outside of the 3DS. Maybe if you just mapped a lot of Pits' controls to the right buttons. I mean, they got Skyward Sword to work without the motion controls on the Switch, so if they can do that, I'm sure you can get Kid Icarus Uprising to work without touchscreen controls. I'm sure of it. Maybe if that happens, I can actually finish the damn game, because playing Kid Icarus Uprising actually hurts my hands after a while. But like, there's a lot of 3DS games that are out right now that are there that I have, and I'm happy to have them. But it's like, you know, once the eShop is dead, there's just no point in having a 3DS because a lot of people's. Because I use my 3DS occasionally for for when I want to replay Fire Emblem, or, you know, one of the Sonic games on 3DS, or a DS game like Sonic Colors DS or something like that. Like, I don't use my 3DS as nearly as much as I used to, because, you know, I'm just going to resort to emulation from now on because it's cheaper that way. It's just better that way because Nintendo was little assholes about everything. Like, I may use my 3DS to, like, play Metroid Samus Returns, or something like that, but, you know, there's just no point. You know, they ported freaking Hyrule Warriors to Switch, and, you know, it was originally a Wii U game, but the Legends content that was 3DS exclusive for the longest time also got the port. So something's telling me that not all of it is hard to do. Hell, Pokemon would probably be the easiest. You could make a lot of money just porting the 3DS Pokemon games. You'd probably make like a freaking $1 billion right there. You know, just port Sun, Moon, Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, X, Y, whatever fucking ones were on there. The Omega Ruby, Alpha Sapphire, Super Turbo Edition, I don't freaking know. You know, do that. Hell, port the... You know, you could... Nintendo literally is sitting on a gold mine with porting the older games to Switch, but they refuse to do it. And they want to just resort to Virtual Console. Or that Nintendo Switch Online thing, which I honestly can't believe people are still paying for that crap. With how, first off, you're paying like $50 a year for crappy servers. From what I've gathered, the servers are still crap. Because, you know, like, I know a few friends who play Smash Online occasionally, and they tell me the servers are so crap I've disconnected several times and got banned because of it. And I'm just like, that's Nintendo for you. They don't really care about their online servers. They just have it so people shut the hell up. It's like a secondary thing to them. And, you know, I like Nintendo's games, but their business decisions are just... They make me cry. Well, not cry, they make me want to fucking find Miyamoto and smack him upside the head. Make him realize the dumbass decisions he's making. I mean, I think the one thing that still pisses me off to this day is the AM2R cease and desist takedown that they did when that game came out. It was so back in, what year did AM2R come out? Well, okay, whatever. When another Metroid 2 remake came out, Nintendo was like swift with the cease and desist. Like, they had them take that game down the literal second the game was released. And, well, first off, you can get it easily nowadays, you know, by just a quick Google search, because, you know, once it's on the internet, it ain't going away. But this pissed off a lot of people, myself included, mind you, because there's several reasons for this. One, the project has been going on for over 10 years. Well, it was over a decade old at that point. Meaning that Nintendo should have been well aware of that. And two, at the time, Nintendo had no intention of doing anything with Metroid. Because, you know, it was kind of a time of uncertainty in Metroid. So they just did it with no prior reason. They just did it. Turns out they were doing their own Metroid 2 remake with Samus Returns. It was only going to be announced a couple years later. You know, if they did that, if they just communicated what they're doing with that, I probably wouldn't be as bitter with it. And in fact, I think a lot of Metroid fans wouldn't be bitter. I understand wanting to protect your property, but at the same time, technically what they did, what the people behind AM2R did, that's fair use. They weren't profiting from it, from my recollection. You know, it was a passion project. And that's why I really love Sega sometimes. They may make, you know, Sega may publish some pretty crappy games, Sonic, but they make some pretty good decisions. I mean, they welcome fans to work on major Sega projects. I mean, take a look at frickin' Sonic Mania, considered one of the best Sonic games in the past decade. And, you know, it was because of a fan project. Christian Whitehead and some others, they were fans who had passion for the series, and they made their own version. They made their own games. And Sega saw them, and they were like, hey, hire these guys. But Nintendo, you make a fan game, you get sued. It's kind of why I'm hesitant to do Nintendo Let's Plays half the time, because Nintendo takes those down too. Like, I don't want to do any newer Nintendo stuff because Nintendo will come after me. Nintendo will just flag it and take it down, because they've done that. They did that to me once on my old channel. I think I did I tried to do a Let's Play of Breath of the Wild at the time, and the first part, before it was even public, they took it down, and I was just like, the fuck? And I gave up on that. But they let my Hyrule Warriors Let's Play pass, so, you know, whatever. Like, I can understand taking something copyrighted down if it was like, you know, oh, okay, hold on, I gotta talk about this stupid puzzle. This puzzle is... ugh. So what you have to do is you have to push this stone box here, and by the way, there are bodies here before us, meaning that some people failed before us, so how the hell did they get the Cliffs of Madness? So what you have to do is you have to guide the box to about right here-ish, you know, maybe where that blood splatter is, and then double jump to get up there. If you don't, you die. Guess what? The box was in the same exact position, I jumped at the same spot, and I made it this time. That took me 5 attempts. I hate that puzzle, because it is completely... It is honestly luck-based on whether or not Kratos decides to grab that ledge. And I hate that fact, because even if you manage to, you know, get the box in the right place, you still have to grab that ledge. And, you know, sometimes Kratos just doesn't feel like grabbing it. You know, so, you know, maybe Kratos is just feeling suicidal that day, so he just decides, you know what, not today. And it is very infuriating, because I have had multiple times where Kratos should have clearly grabbed the ledge, and that is one thing in video games I always hate, is when it's always inconsistent on when the protagonist grabs fucking ledges. Because it's like, why 1 minute I'm not grabbing the ledge, and then the next minute I'm grabbing it just fine? It's just the most annoying thing. It's fine to some extent, depending on the game series, or, you know, how old the game is, because I can excuse that. But it's also just something that's just infuriating, especially if it happens nowadays. I've had it happen a few times. But that's the end of the part. A very Nintendo bitching part. I'm gonna look forward to naming the session on naming the part on this one. But see you guys next time, and take care.